Hey, folks. I'm Nick Tucker with the Historical Fencing Guild. Let's get the show on the road. But before we do it, we have to thank a few folks. First and foremost, we got to thank our good friends over at IndieCD.org. IndieCD.org is a collection of artists and authors and other creatives who come together. This is the wrong glass. It's going to throw my whole mojo off. There we go. Now, IndieCD.org is a collection of artists and authors, your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest in their fields, who you can hire for their services or look up to find great books that you can buy from small creators, because I have a passion for helping folks shop small. Before we get too far into the program, I do want to apologize tentatively. We are having tremendous windstorms and violently dropping temperatures, so basically my power my power might go out, my net might go out. It's going to be one of those shows. Alrighty, but IndieCD.org helps us keep the lights on when the lights are available. We're also made possible and supported by the use of my affiliate link over at Purple Heart Armory, woodenswords.com. You add that little / click equals 1745, and it won't cost you anything, but I get a small percentage of your purchases, and they track your view rates. So when I go to Christian and say, hey, I've been talking to some of the people, can you consider making a sword like this? It's done, and it's more likely to happen. Okay. So we're also, of course, made possible by the sales of all my wonderful books. And relevant to this channel, we, of course, have the Simple Sword, the Fighting Axe, and the Simple Spear, my ongoing, because I'm almost done with my horror novel, so I can get back into the realm of game design and fight manuals. And frankly, I've got a couple percolating. They're delightful. But ongoing book series to teach you how to go from having never held a sword to instruct others. It is the only book series I know that is created around the premise of stick figures to show you the basic positions, and the only one that teaches you not only how to analyze yourself, but analyze the styles of your opponents and use that to your best advantage. This is one of my best creations. I'm incredibly proud of it. The Simple Axe and the Fighting Axe and the Simple Spear both build on those concepts to allow you to incorporate what you've already learned. So an introduction into these basic weapons, and we're all building up towards something farther down the line. So it's a very, very good time. I'm very pleased with those. But most of all, guys, I want to thank my patrons over at patreon.com/the Historical Fencing Guild. They are Off in the Woods, Frog G, Ronald Rain, Bladed Thesis, ignore the spelling there, Brian K. Morris, Cindy Kep, and my brother from another mother, Mr. Steve Augusto, who we go far, far, far too far back. If you want to help support, as little as $1 a month helps me keep the lights on around here and afford to buy gear, to review, to outfit people who otherwise wouldn't have access to gear, because I do the training for free, and endeavor to keep my processes going. Now, I have just a bit of a frog in my throat. I'm not terribly sick, but with these pressure changes, I am certainly feeling everything. So it may be a little dodgy. Let me hit the chat, and then we'll get into what we're talking about today. And let's see. First through the door is Bladed Thesis. Happy Friday, Sword Family. Happy Friday, Thesis. It's good to see you again. And we're joined by Foxy and Cindy and the lovely Miss Saren. And we're saying, good morning to all of you. And enjoy your dinner, Foxy. That sounds good. I like dinner. Give me a moment. My voice, like I said, my voice is rough today. I was very excited because I heard from a very old, very dear friend who we just sort of drifted apart. And it was really good to hear from her. But howdy, y'all. Good evening, Cindy. And Miss Saren, good evening. And hey, and go forth, get books, learn basic weaponry. Yes, waves. You'll want to check out the cool art at deviantart.com/NickT. Check out Fencing Guild here, and that would be this channel, this show, and this channel, and our dear friend Joe Bachman, aka the Independent Creator Directory, says looks as though the Wi-Fi is working well. Fingers and toes crossed. We're holding through. I think a lot of it has to do with the massive box that you donated to me, you blessed man. But and want some tea? Actually, I do. I really do. I would love to have some of my spicy tea. Maybe I can talk Mandy into that after. And Foxy's returned with pot stickers, which is one of the best ways to return. All right, guys. And thank you. I greatly appreciate it, Joe. And I, from the bottom of my heart, I mourn the fact that you cannot have pot stickers. Sorry about the wobbling. I'm working on that too. We are in the middle of some pretty drastic things, and I'm excited about it, but it's also kind of horrifying because it means that this won't look like this much longer. I learned to make them sans allergies. Cindy Kep has allergy roulette. It is a special kind of case. It's heading to PC now. Got to catch up on from plowing today. Well, Joe, thank you for plowing your community. You are heroic. Okay, we need to talk, guys, because it's early. Why did that do that? I bumped a button and it popped that up, and I really wish I knew what keystroke I did. But we've got to talk about going through our training because this is the cold time of year. And when it's this cold, traditionally, people wouldn't be fighting. And thank you for the link. And keep finding new ones. Yes, that's basically what's going on there. I'm that way with skin allergies. I'm at the point where I've just given up. I'm allergic to everything. But so I'm sorry, going to get back to where I was. I'm a little scattered today. This is the time where we work on prepping our gear, getting new gear, addressing, frankly, the often unpleasant side effects of several great holidays with great food that can interfere with both our practice schedules and our fit of our equipment. So now is a good time for everybody who is working to think about so unprofessional today, to think about what we want to do to get where we want to be in March and in April, when we can go back out really heavy and get the fighting back done. And what do we need to get there? So this is a good time to discuss what you're reading. If you're picking up new skills, this is a good time to chase them down. There are a lot of great channels out there that can help you do that. There are some great pay resources. There's some amazing books, and not just my own, but this is a great time to work on basic body strength. Now, longtime viewers know I've been going through a rebuild since I lost the use of my hands and basically atrophied my whole body due to some things that went wrong. This is a time to rebuild. Okay, this is a time to read and to move forward in our growth and our assessments. Now, I do like saying, when you hit the coldest times of the year, just sit down with your family or wherever you are and quietly work on things together. Leatherworking or sewing or something like that. because there's always gear to be made. Now, I do intend in the very near future to do the much belated gorget making video. I think my hands are very close to up to it, so I'm going to quietly check to see if I have all the proper equipment to do that. I may have to enlist the assistance of my son or wife to squeeze to cut off the rivets. I'm not sure if I'll have enough juice to do that. I'm literally trying to build up my hands to be strong enough to squeeze that and cut the copper rivets off. But that's stuff I'm working on because I have a goal in sight. Right now, it's a great time to work on basic physical fitness. It's a good time. People make fun of calisthenics. One thing, I want to get in shape for force fighting. Well, there are a couple ways to do it. Simple drills. I know I harp on this regularly, but the very first video I ever shot for this channel, if you scroll all the way down, it's in vertical format, is going through the basic guards of the simple sword system. Do that. Practice your footwork. You only need enough space for your arms. If you can get a 5x5 square, one block in D&D, you can drill and get in shape for what we do largely. It can be a little challenging for some of the longer weapon work, but that doesn't mean you can't do the rest. Footwork is key. Now remember, when you are getting started and you are moving through, I take away a lot, okay? I say, okay, you're just getting started. When you're just getting started, we take away things like two-handed weapons. You're going to start with one weapon. You're going to focus on one weapon. Now, when I mean two-handed, dual-wielding, not two-handed. When you do that, you're going to start with how to keep your base solid. A lot of times, people want to go out and fight. I'm like, before you can fight, you have to learn how to move. Before you learn how to move, you have to learn how to stand. Everything builds on the foundation. So spending some time in what would be basically horse stance, legs at a little wider than shoulder width or shoulder width, knees bent slightly, hold your arms out, make sure you're balanced, find your balance, and just stand like that for a while. It's going to start to build up your inner thigh muscles, your glutes. If you're maintaining your posture, you're going to build up your chest, and for a lot of us, your back. Because I've been doing studies, and a lot of us in this group have hypermobility that is tied to a lot of things like ADHD and a few other things. But part of the trick with hypermobility is the muscle that runs between your shoulder blades and up to your neck doesn't develop and maintain properly. So we alternate with our neck muscles and the side muscles. When I do my drills, there are two things I do, okay? Every day, there are two exercises I do that are not drill-based. They're not sword technique-based. Well, not directly. Both of them have application, but that's not the core reason I do them. And I realize I haven't talked a lot about that. I think I have room to, let me get my totally useful, things got moved around here to try to winterize the room a bit better. But I need some props to make life a little easier on me. And I'm going to use the PVC because it shows up better. And let me just do that. Put my sword cane trainer because I want the bottom of it because they'll be roughly the same. Okay. So, there too. Can I stand up? I can stand up. Cool. Make sure my subtlety was used in working in here. But you're going to want to do this. You're going to want to hold your Sort SSOs, dowel rods, get something stick-like so that they are held vertical. Your elbows are pinned to your side. And yes, I'm a chunky monkey. We're work in progress. And you want to bring this out just as far as you can comfortably and pull it back in. And you want to do this, I do it 20 times. I'm building up to get to regularly do it 30. And you want to do both at the same time while you are standing up as straight as possible, because it's going to work. And it's one of those I can't show you it working without, like taking off my shirt, and that's not happening. Nobody needs to see that. But it will, what it will do, if you do it enough from the physical therapy types I've studied. Again, I remind you, I'm not a medical professional in any way, shape, or form. This is just what I have learned. Please consult with your medical professional before you attempt anything. But by working that, it's going to start to get your neck back upright, in line with your spine, so you don't have that forward neck position. It'll pull things up. It'll make your breathing better. It'll make your posture better. It will make some of your back pain better. It's a very important basic thing to do. The other thing I do is just, okay, you can see, just this shoulder rotation while I'm holding the sword. Because what this is going to do is keep my rotator cuff loose. It's going to make sure there aren't any bone spurs from lack of movement. And then at the end, I can loosen my grip, which you really can't see because of the setup right now. But so I can keep my wrists pliable and flexible, keep the mobility in the wrists. I have tremendous damage to the nerves and muscles involved with supercating, which is being able to do that. So I have to do exercises to prevent that. If I know that doing exercises to prevent it and repair it will work for me, having a simple exercise like this will work for you. The other thing you could do is exaggerate so that you're using it to practice your disengages. And you go both ways, 10 to each side to start. Stop if anything hurts. Always stop if anything hurts. And I know some of you are going to say, but I have chronic pain and everything hurts. To you fine people who are connoisseurs of suffering, like myself, you know the difference between standard pain and non-standard pain. At least you should. When you're working out, there oftentimes, when you're building up, there will be discomfort, but not true pain. One thing you want to definitely watch out for is you never want it to feel hot or burning. This is that you never want a tearing sensation. That's go to the doctor stuff. So if you start to feel tightness, a little stretch, that's fine. That's telling you stop before you hurt yourself. And later on, you may get to a position where you can work through that a little bit, but that's only when you can really listen to your body and assess what you want to do. Right. It's a mental Olympic, and it's not that I'm not following your comments. I am watching a lot of them. There's some great comments come by, but I'm kind of wanting to take this time because this is a very specific kind of time for me. This is that part of winter where the storms are blowing so hard it comes through the cracks in the windows, and you can just about feel it hammering down on you. And I don't want anyone to suffer going through that. And one of the ways I deal with the physical anxiety of pressure changes is drop things dramatically. But no, is working on my body, because I have a whole lot of broken bone injuries. I have some conditions. But so when the weather comes in like this, I feel, and as Cindy can attest, there are your normal pains, and then there's the I know what this pain is. In this case, it's massive pressure things. That's what you have to understand. So I go, I knew today would be a very bad body day, a bad leg day, bad uh, joint day. I just knew it. So I've taken meds. I'm trying to push liquids. I haven't set to overexert myself because this is a great time to hurt myself. And knowing your body for accessibility is very important. Okay. Uh, Adaptability, that's the word I was leaning towards, because part of adapting has to adapt to your condition, whatever it is. You have to understand what your condition is. Now, one of the people I knew who I was one of the students I've had who I was most proud of, and they are no longer with us, was a young wheelchair bound uh, trans girl by the name of Kitsune Windsor, artist. But she wanted to learn to sword fight, and she, so, in her heart she wanted to, but she could not. I mean, extreme nerve issues, extreme. She could. Her weight limit was basically a digital stylus. So this is what she could hold. Okay. But I'm like, well, I can teach you the drills. And she goes, there's nothing I could drill with. And it's something I can't do. And you have to understand, can't is a 4-letter word. It makes me sick. I hate the word can't. Uh, it hits my heart. Can't is not something I'm about. But what I am about is what can we do? And what we ended up was getting her. Why is everything falling without me moving? Oh, it's just the breeze coming through. Anyway, one sec. I don't want these books to get stepped on. They're my private versions. Sorry. We got the telescoping antenna from an old radio. And we had to talk online because she was in California, I think. And she could do the basic drills and a couple shots. I mean, in a range about this much. But she really worked at it. And she got a bit stronger from doing it. They didn't think it would work, but she did. She got a bit stronger. She could draw longer because she was building herself up. And when you are so low that you have to work to get the squeezy square, that when you come back from it, you're going to come back in the tiniest of steps over a very long time. And you have to think of it like a wheelchair ramp versus a set of stairs. A set of stairs will take you up 3 or 4 inches at a step. Boom, 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 go, right? A wheelchair ramp is only incrementally tiny building up so that you can get up there over a long distance. That's what adaptation is about. Now, she's not with us, but I still count her among one of the bravest people I know, and an absolute swordswoman, because she studied the blade. She studied the drills, and she did what she could. Yes, it was only in a circle this big. Yes, the application is, non-existent practically for anything but the love of doing it and the feedback of doing it. But I think of her, and I think of all the people who I have talked to over the years who wanted to learn to sword fight and then looked at me and said, I can't. because they're able-bodied, but they're a little klutzy, and or they just, I don't have the time. And if you want to get better, look, if you want to get better writing, you have to write. If you want to get better drawing, you have to draw. If you want to get better on the digital art, you have to sit in front of this thing and figure out how the programs work. You just have to beat your head against it for a while till you can make it go. That's part of it. And you study and you learn and you talk to people and you find mentors. But at the end of the day, if you want it, friends, you have to do it. And when I hear can't, I just see my friend Kitsune. And yes, it should be Kitsune, but they picked their pronunciation. I'm not going to argue. And I think what she would have given for their mobility. Now, I'm not saying that to belittle anyone fighting the battle. I'm not saying that to upset anybody out there who has challenges. This is not there are starving kids in Africa, eat your green beans. But it is telling you, if you want it, you will get it. If you need it, you will have it. Because it matters to you. So don't be afraid to put in the hours. Don't be afraid to look goofy. A lot of people, somebody might look at me. Okay, then practice alone in a room. Nobody needs to look at you. But I still say, if you can, record yourself so that you can see your progress. Record yourself so you can catch things you might be doing wrong if you don't have an instructor on site. There are ways, but it has to be accountability. And this really sounds like my other show. But I want you guys to remember, in this time when it's too cold to go out, it's too cold and unsafe, and sometimes to do things, you can definitely build up. Okay, now I'm gonna get back to the chat. It was just a point that was really important to me, and I wanted to talk about it. And I found myself thinking about some old friends. And when I think about the old friends I've lost because we got separated in life, versus the friends I've lost because they've crossed to the other side of the veil, it just affects my perspective sometimes. And let's see. Let me get back to where I was. I do apologize for that bit of a tangent. And Thesis says, filming is done for the new ad. Just need to do all the fiddly bits of editing and such. Wonderful. That is my weakness. Editing and formatting. God. But you keep it up. That's great, Thesis. Yay. And I need to redesign my ad. It's been the same for years. I have no idea what to do with it. Add a voiceover talking about what you're promoting. The visuals on the ad are great. The music is great. But other than that, it is essentially a silent ad, which that's the other channel. But, I don't mind crossing the streams a bit. You need a sturdier lever. I have to pull needles through stiff materials using a thimble to get it started and pliers to pull it through. That's a good point. I may just need to get a couple pipes and do it like breaker bars and just extend a longer lever. Give me a long enough lever and a fulcrum to lift it by, and I will move the world. Thesis says, currently reading Push Hands and Tai Chi Sword from the incomparable Dr. Yang Jwing Ming, and doing some simple drills inside with my boffer or my plastic sword. Excellent. The plastic trainers, guys, are phenomenal. Especially for indoor practice, because they're a lot safer. Never practice with live steel or near live steel. And never, ever do a demo thing with it. My dear friend, who I haven't spoken to in quite a while, Sword Sage. Sorry, I had to remember his online handle. I almost doxed him. Sword Sage and I go way back. And I did a video with him where we were talking about deflecting shots and stuff. and he nearly got me. Oh god, I did managed an actual pinch parry of a of a it had no edges, but the tip was quite formidable. But she had just uh, so yeah. Well, I may find the link for that one. It's an interesting link. And reacquainting myself with Justin Ma's The Way of Archery. That's great. That's quality reading. Uh, I've yet to see anything by Dr. Yang Ming that isn't absolutely superb. Everything the man has done in every variant of the art is phenomenal, and he should be a gold standard that Western martial artists look at when they write their manuals. Guy Windsor does some amazing books. I do still like to read a good translation of period techniques because I find there's a little bit more practicality there. But with Justin Ma's Way of Archery, which I've heard of as well, and Dr. Yang Ming's work, you see the depth of their talent. So he says, yeah, being told I needed to have a concept of normal pain was weird. And yeah, that's one of those where when you go to talk to a doctor, it's like, well, my normal pain level is about a blank. And they're like, what do you mean your normal pain? My baseline is about we'll say 2 to 4 compared to anybody else. And I pulled it down much closer to a 2 most of the time. But if I go to the doctor and say, I am hurting, they don't even flinch because they know me. It's like, I'm hurting. They know it's bad because they've looked at my x-rays and gone, you have that. Yeah. Yeah, my ribs were kind of ripped off. It happened. And yeah, level of pain is normal for you. If it's more than that, let us know. Yep. Figuring out how to adapt some moves was kind of trial and error. That's the only way you can do it. Lydia's okay. Of course, Lydia is rearranging my office because ever since the Bone Baby, as my dear friend Alec Martin says, I have a lot of dear friends, don't I? Isn't that cool? I'm a blessed man. Well, ever since Bone Baby came in, they like to play and they get rambunctious. So I have a lot to move. And you see me look over here and pack for a moment. How did that happen? Anyway, because my wall of knowledge had to be taken down to work on this window a bit. So it is over here. You see these that's my universe of reference. It's actually giving me just a bit of anxiety not to have glance access to some of that. But that's a work in progress. Let's see. Tangentially related news. I'm all for it. I've been getting stronger. Yes. Sometimes at the end of class, we work on a bit of saber form. It's blooming heavy, but I can actually hang on to it and move it. That's amazing. That's wonderful, Cindy. I'm ecstatic for you. 2 years ago, that wasn't happening at all, and the tendonitis was too. That's wonderful, though. That's the way you do it. Slow progress will provide just incredible results, and I really mean that. Voiceover, yeek. I'd have to see if I could do 2 soundtracks in that program because me yakking won't be that interesting by itself. Talk to Carl Witzman. He's a sorcerer at that sort of thing. And good work. Celebrate the advantages when you get them. Yes, that's a huge deal. I know when I got built up enough that I could hold the wolf sabers I train with. It was transformative. It's like I have hope now. So grab hold of that message and listen to it and keep it in your heart because yeah, Plus, by saber, I assume you mean Chinese saber / Dao, which is dead sexy. And if you're doing uh, European saber, that makes me happy in a whole different set of zones and regions. And let's see. Good work. Celebrate the advanced swing. Yes. And Foxy, I downloaded GIMP again on my machine to help with arting. Wonderful. Now, GIMP is great. If you decide you want a more robust experience, and your computer can handle it, there is a program called Krita, Krita. It is amazing and the best free program out there. But GIMP is great. And shockingly, I would like a program called GIMP. Anyway, woot! Thesis. And let's see. Dr. Jang and Master Jesse Tsao are great teachers. Yes, absolutely. I'm using 2 audio tracks with my ad, a voiceover, and music. Well, I think that will serve you very well. And that's the other thing I love that we can confirm. Okay, polypropylene version of one of these, Chinese war sword. I think that's a Dao. Let me just do that so I can check. Cold steel. Let's see, cold steel, Chinese war sword. Let me look at it. Oh, yes. Yes. Oh. Wait a second. Okay. A Dedao, I believe, is how it's pronounced. Give me a moment. I'm going to. Yes, it's cold steel. I love cold steel. Their sword trainers are kind of excessive, but let me move this to the art monitor so that I can bring it up. I don't want it zoomed. I want to scroll here. There we go. Give me a moment to present this, and we'll make sure I'm looking at the right thing before I prattle on. Boom. And we're going to go. There we go. One of these, Cindy? Different hand guard, though. So if it's a different hand guard, you're looking at definitely a Dao. Oh, where did it go? Chinese saber? These guys? Yeah, that's why I'm trying to figure out if it's a great Dao or a Dao. Okay, that's a great Dao. That's a Dao. Wonderful. That happens to be one of my favorite weapons ever. So let me go through. Gonna relearn how to run the art programs now. If you would like, I could re-download GIMP, go through, get refreshed, and do a video to help if that's something you want. Dao 100%. And yes, the guard is just a flat disc. Exquisite, Cindy. Exquisite. The Daos are incredible weapons. They're incredible trainers. They work remarkably well. I am very, very pleased with them. And that means I can go. Let me delete this. Oh, new computer. Oh. Ooh, I almost did that in the wrong. Window. Hold on. Okay, give it just a second. There we go. So that means what you probably need to consider investing in at some point Oh, okay, they do have a proper length to Dow. Because I thought that one was a touch short. Where did we go, dear friends? You could click the button. I could click the button and just search like a sane person, or I could go here. Let's see. I want to check something because the Dow trainer. Now I got that stutter in. It's something I'm lusting for. This may be my excuse to order one to train. And the sizing, 29-inch blade, 30, 1 pound 2 ounces. How would that be weight wise for you, Cindy? And Thesis has put a link. Let me find my cursor. Here we go. Does it look like this? And Amazon.com. That's one thing I have trouble I can't highlight the text to steal it from this program and then put it up in the chat. So have to have somebody else click through that. But so Cindy is training with the Dow. And what's this? Oh, by the way, I've been doing that back thing exercise you showed us every day. Are you feeling the results? Because I found it worked really, really well. And says that's a pretty close match. Okay. That is good to know, Cindy. That is very good to know. So, Thesis, I will wait for you to tell me if it's more a Dow or Dow. But I'll put this back here because we don't need that right now. Yeah, Foxy, please tell me if that is helping you with your. I know you have some. Not to overstate, not to be inappropriate, but I would be surprised if you didn't have certain back issues. So I'd love to know if that exercise is helping you with that too. Because like I said, I found that doing that every day really does help me with my back issues. And it's gotten enough where I can feel the musculature resupporting at joints that could not pop can. I have that condition where the hypermobility exists to my spine, so my discs can do some things they shouldn't be. But and I found that exercise really, truly does help with a whole lot. There are some others you can do where you put your hands against a wall and you basically do slow jumping jack motions. That will help with that too. But this is one I got from my wife when she was doing her physical therapy, and I found out that matched what I have. So let's go. And it's early days, but it does seem to be helping some. We'll stick with it. And you also do the shoulder one. Done that for years. Those of us who have the old injuries learn that these exercises treat them. If you don't have these injuries yet in your development, either as a martial artist or simply as a person, you can expect it. If you do the exercises that treat it, I have found it does a lot to prevent it. And if my suffering or Foxy's suffering or Cindy's suffering can help someone else not have to suffer, then some good can be born from that. And that is what we're about over here. So I'm really glad. I'm looking for variants of lunges and crunches to work on my hip stretches because I need to build up that area from the atrophy and the fact that because it is partially paralyzed, I have to work the muscles without being able to feel the muscles. And let's see. So do hips, depending on the hip stretch you use. And my old Sifu said that sword and have that sword, and yes, Nick, it's regular Dow, then I would really consider, because a lot of times I tell you, go on Amazon, there is a cheaper version of the Dow, and there is, but the weight balance on that and the girthy size of the grip, y'all can have fun with that. Wouldn't be good for us smaller folks. So I would really go with the woodenswords.com Dow if you decide to get yourself a trainer, or if somebody decides to get a trainer like that for you. Ah, yes. My wife is the same way. Yes, it's hypermobility. It happens. My wife can she used to before she had a very bad fall that forced her into the splits farther than she was supposed to go and dislocated her hip. And she fell and twisted so hard it lacerated under her knee. It was a very, very bad time, and I got her to the doctor, thank God. But it was scary berries. It was bad berries. It was, and she had to be in an immobilizer. God, that's a lot of vowel sounds. For months, and I had to drive her everywhere. So be careful with that. Oh, okay. Got to play with a little one during class. So it was a decent trainer. Good. Not the green, exactly. Not the green room and such. So we will. I do prefer to be extremely have on this channel. My other channel I can go different places with, but this is, education based. But that means if you have hypermobility, one thing, having looked into that for my own studies for my own condition, is you have to develop the musculature around the joints to help hold you together. And by doing that, it's going to make you stronger, improve your quality of life, and let you be able to handle sword better. This is win, 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 win. And I love when wins start stacking up like a sandwich, I'm a chunky monkey. I like a good sandwich. And a sandwich of win, I'm all about every bite. But the only way you're going to get it, and that's the horrible fact, people want to learn and people want to make changes in their life, but they want a big dramatic change that suddenly fixes everything. And that's not how it works. It's going to only come from consistent careful I'm sorry, Johnny popped on with a comment and it almost derailed me. Consistent, careful work where you're monitoring yourself, you put in the hours. If there were a faster way that worked, friends, I would be doing a dance telling you about it. If you actually somehow magically find a faster way that works, let me know. I'm interested. But at the end of the day, for a skill-based set and for physical development, you just have to put in the hours. And see, that's the balance. I have to be careful not to make the muscles too strong because I tear the tendons. And that can happen too. So it's all knowing your body and knowing what you need. And Johnny says, get on the juice to lock my bones into place. Got it. No, Johnny, no juice. You do it the hard way, bud, because one, the side effects could ruin some very important things on you. And I'm pretty sure we have a mutual acquaintance who at some point might want access to that ability set. Hey, Johnny, Foxy y'all. Ooh, the Amazon link I set is between 20 and 25 for a pretty good Dow trainer. Alrighty, can you send it to my Facebook? Facebook Messenger. I believe we are connected there. And I will try to open it up over here and see which one it is, because it might be one I'm familiar with. Foxy says my body would be good family builders. Dyslexia. Sorry about that. I mean, I'm sure your body would be good family builders, but your family would be good bodybuilders. Oh, I'm going to get in trouble. And Oh, man, you got me good. I try not to throw barbs too much, but I gotta give a little bit back, Johnny, or it's no fun. Now, but I don't want that, LOL. I would do anything for swords, but I won't do that. Okay, now. I know I shouldn't laugh at my own jokes, but it's funny. Oh, Christian thinks I'm trying to talk to him. No, I don't need to speak with you yet, Christian. And let me check that. Oh my, do I have a lot of messages? And let's see. Oh yes, that is the sword. That is the exact same sword trainer that I was discussing. So we'll go copy link address. I either have one or I have or I've used one that was loaned to me quite a bit. Paste. Oh. Let's see if that works. It gave me a lot of gobbledygook. Wow, that is really gobbledygook. Why is it doing that? Okay, here. Okay, it's there. It's just the gobbledygook version. Here we go. Alrighty. So I can bring this up. Give me just one moment. And it's funny because that's exactly what I was talking about. So this trainer here, the problem is and I'm not trying to be indelicate, but it is a round. I like the spirals. The spirals give a good grip. It's by Wu Jiao or one of the side companies. I recognize the logo style, but it can be a bit heavy actually, and it can be. Let me close that real quick and close that. See if that doesn't help. No, my net is starting to cut out, so I'm keeping an eye on things, guys. Let me make sure this is okay. Cool. But okay, we're coming back. It rotates a bit in the hand, and it's rather girthy. So for smaller-handed people, it's a little choppy, balanced, and it's very big in the hand. Because I suspect that Cindy and I have very similar hand sizes. So the weight might be uncomfortable. But that's a very good trainer if you have big enough hands to handle it and you can keep it from spinning in your hand with grip strength. It's another one of those where I am sorely tempted to get one and then just pull out, the big dust mask and goggles and grind away to reshape the hilt, which I'm always tempted to do. Although I learned about Johnny earlier today, he might enjoy getting a little thrown back his way. He says, I can take a beating. I'm sure you can. Hey, there's nothing wrong with being open-minded, okay? But like I said, it's a very let's see, not my style, but someone who is interested in Dow. It's a good sword. I have it and this one in a special Amazon list. Well, let me see. BO. Stop that. Let's go here. Let's go backspace. BO. DMPC. Here we watch Nick try to type. G. Let's see if I got that right. Oh, now this one, I've handled this one as well. And this one is a bit lighter. Here, let me bring it up so you can talking about. Did it not update? That's interesting. Oh, okay. I see what happened. this, moved it to your copy. And hello, Rex Allen Hood. Always good to hear from you, Your Honor. There we go. This one, as I recall, is a bit longer, a bit cheaper at 22. What's the shipping? Free returns, free delivery, they say. $22. Now, see, that sounds like something inexpensive that needs to be reviewed. I might have to throw some love that way. And thank you, Thesis, for that recommendation. Let's see. I know. Add to wish list. Let's see. HFG wish list. That way I can find it. Continue shopping. I think I added it there. Did I? HFG wish list. Okay, good. And I'll go check on that. Thank you. Now we're joined by our dear friend Rex Hood. Hey, Al. I know him as Al. It's complicated. No, go here. How are you doing, good sir? And he says an open mind is like a fortress with its gates unbarred and unguarded. And you're right. Open mind really isn't the right term. I would say flexible mind. That's closer to Dudao. And okay, we'll deal with that. Hey, yes. How are you, good sir? Have you been able to keep? Have you gotten? God, you've been through so much. I know about, and we don't get to talk often. But are you able to do a thing? Okay, you say I'm doing well, and I'm going to take that because I'm getting towards the end of my program. But I'll stick around longer anyway. But yes, guys, finding the right style and the right equipment for you, this is a good time for it. A lot of these trainers are considered martial arts equipment. They're considered fitness. So a lot of times they'll be on sale this time of year. So if you don't have one and you're not sure about it, consider. That's really a good deal. Consider looking into assorted gear, either here or on PHA, and get what you think will work. But do as much research as possible. Now, I wish they would do. God, I cannot remember the gentleman who did it, but he came up with a way to do a sword agility chart. And what it shows is the weight, length, and the weight, the length, and the point of balance, and it calibrates the angles that it's comfortable to be used. So it can really tell you how agile a weapon is at a glance. And they were talking about trying to make it standard for a few things, but then it sort of faded away. And Rex says, how's your streaming going? Still doing a weekly show on Fridays? Yes, sir. I actually go on this channel. I do at least the live stream every week. We're in the middle of rearranging the house and doing a whole lot of things behind the scenes that will make stuff better for when my guests come over, and it will make stuff better for, say, our gaming and for the fighting. That process is making its way into this room very soon. But I broadcast here, and I broadcast on my other channel, the Nicholas Tucker channel, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 10 a.m. I occasionally do a weekend art stream, although people have really liked me taking my Wednesday show and running late with that instead of doing the art stream. So I may do those as a more fun thing. I'll remind you, because you're relatively local, or at least you were. You're Al, you'd be anywhere. International man of mystery, but we will be doing a book convention February 24th in Fowler, Indiana. a author, artist, independent creator convention that I'm running, and I'm looking forward to that. And oh, what medium am I doing? Okay, art wise, well, that helps. I usually use Clip Studio Paint because broadcasting digital art is a lot easier. I still have a passionate love for physical art, and I do still prefer to do manual line art, you know, with one of these guys over this, but I'm forcing myself to get better. And yeah, I like the Wednesday art stream, easier to catch. And that seems to work real well with everybody. I usually knock out 3 pictures to be the next week's thumbnails. It lets me keep, artistic accountability and makes it easier to plan the next week's materials. Now, come to the people who catch the art, never mind the furthermore, my author support show. I will probably not be on Monday. Joe Bachman is going to guest host. We're hoping with his lovely wife Trelana. But I have a dental appointment, and even if I get back in time, I don't know how much assorted lidocaines and stabbings I will be enduring. And if that's the case, I am incredibly susceptible to anything that has cane in it, and it makes me rather giddy, and it makes me sorry. Rex said that is a name I've not heard in a long time. Yes, but it also makes me way too truthful. So I have to be very careful because I become a walking stream of consciousness, and my consciousness is something else. And no worries, we won't hold you accountable for whatever happens if you show up. Well, thank you, Foxy, but I definitely, way too truthful. Nick, sounds fun. Depends on who I'm with and what I'm thinking about at the moment. But since we are still here and I'm running a little late today, I do hope you guys are working on those basic drills and you are doing whatever you can to build up and get in as good of shape as you can. And, when you reach a point where it's oops, oh, God. My screen keeps flickering black, guys, for the broadcast, and my Wi-Fi is dropping. So I was going to get into a new topic, but instead, as we are over the hour and we are under approximately 30-mile-an-hour winds, I am going to say, guys, I love you, but keep your eyes open, do your drills, be kind to yourself and each other, and as always, support your local swordmaster. I will see you next week for another episode of this, and I will see you possibly Monday, definitely Wednesday for Nevermind the Furthermore, over on the Historical Fencing Guild Network. And Cindy's reminding you to get my books. Hope everyone enjoys it. Yep, there it starts to go. I'm going to duck before I can. So, whoop. Guys, remember, I love you, and you should too. See you soon.